Okay, now that I think things may work, I will begin a recording. We're going to see what it sounds like. The live filter, an AC adapter for an automatic ball launcher. You may want to watch your ears. This program is so that I can adjust the levels. The level of audio that's coming into the program before I make changes to it. We're going to want to drop it. It's pretty loud. Now we're going to add some noise reduction. If this were to be a real video series, obviously I would record these things beforehand. But in this case, we'll be showing you, we'll be looking at each item. There are a lot of other things to come in case you're curious. Some of those things are sound from the intercom of a small little digital camera. We've already looked at a couple things. Let's go ahead and see how it sounds. Right now we know there's some electrical noise in there, so I'm going to go ahead and add a filter that's going to take away some of the 60 hertz hum, the electrical hum that comes from electrical power lines and things of that nature. There we can actually hear that that's the hum that it's actually removing, because right now we're telling it to take everything away and only leave what we're trying to eliminate. So we're doing an opposite type of thinking. We're going to turn that back on. This is another denoiser program. We're just going to build some things here and get to a base point, and then we're going to go ahead and jump back to the filter that was running before we even started, because it's already set up. going to add another level of noise reduction. Let's see. A little bit tired today, just got home from work, long day at work. Let's see where we stand now. I do want to mention that this time it's actually live. The other day we looked at VLF radio stations live. We looked at a recording of digital noise from a car, from a cell phone in a car, and we looked at noise from rain. The rain and the car were pre-recorded. The VLF radio was not, and this is not. This is actually live right now. So whatever we tune in here is live, them speaking to us right now. Let's go ahead and tune it in a little bit. Notice I'm starting to see some pretty interesting things, or hear some interesting things. Is the voice of people in spirit riding on top of those tones? Guess we'll find out and look a little bit closer. Let's take a little bit closer look. Let's zoom in on these lower frequencies. Here on the left of this graph, if you can see it, this is 0 kilohertz. This is 2 kilohertz, so on and so forth. Normal human, say if you were talking on a telephone, it would be roughly between 3,500 and somewhere around here. Could be 500 kilohertz on up. Our human voice is actually a little bit lower, so that's why we're seeing them down here low. So now let's take a look at it. Let's see, where are their voices? I'm sure there's better tools out there to use live for something like this. If you have suggestions, go ahead and put it in the okay, Sasha, it's not showtime. Go ahead and put it in the comments, and if I don't see it, Gretchen can pass it on to me. So hit up Gretchen Becker. Let's see. Right now, we're just going to try and look and see roughly where the voices are the best. You could also use an EQ to do this, but it would need to be pretty fine. And now we're starting to get in an area where we can hear where they're talking. We hear what appears to be somebody talking. Okay, I'm going to revert to good old-fashioned relaxing and just going as we normally do. Sure, the pressure of trying to record something technical live is immense, and of course everything goes wrong. So I'm just going to go back to my intuition. All right, let's see. We could try different things. We could try to filter out what we have here. Notice it's above the noise that was there, the noise created by the AC adapter. So we can see what happens if we cap it off, or basically try not to listen to anything below 1,000 hertz, 1 kilohertz, and see if any of the harmonics, because when we speak, we have a low harmonic, we have a low frequency, bass frequency, and then due to natural forces of nature, that was redundant, we have harmonics above that. They get weaker the higher you go, which means that if they have voices down there below 1 kilohertz, then there'll likely be some pieces of that left over in the area above it. We need to raise the volume up a little bit because we've selected this particular region, and so now we're working with less audio. So we want to bring it up back up to par before we continue working with it. So now we're trying to change the pitch. Remember, we selected an area above where the noise from the AC adapter appears, and we're listening to the basically the white noise above that that has some of the leftovers from the spirit using the energy at and below 1 kilohertz. Okay, the question now is, what are we listening to? Are we listening to what sounds like voices, or is this just noise that I've distorted enough to make into a voice? And that's what we're going to find out. To demonstrate. We're going to stop listening to that for a second. We're going to go back and live I heard the word to demonstrate. They're talking about what we're doing. We'll go ahead and listen back to it and see if we hear the same thing that I heard live. Oh, once we get that to play. All right, playback, speakers, use. In this sentence here, it's very good to demonstrate, and then I don't know what the rest of the sentence is, but this is what at least appears to me to be speech, and I think some of you may agree. The word to demonstrate is right here. To demonstrate. Let me play it again a couple times. Let's say we only took the first part that says, it's very good to demonstrate. Now, it's not as good as we would like it to be, but the objective here was to determine whether or not this particular device, which in this case just turned out to be the little AC adapter for a ball launcher, not the actual ball launcher itself, because it's battery powered in this case. But if we go ahead and listen to it, we'll see that we have what appears to be voice coming out of an AC adapter affecting a radio. It's not the radio, it's the adapter providing energy, which in turn we hear through the radio. So the radio is our ears. Again, the sentence is, it's very good to demonstrate. And they are talking about what we're doing now and what I'm attempting to do. Need to slow this whole thing down. Raise it up a little bit. So it's not perfect speech, it's not ideal, but it's pretty good to be able to catch a phrase. Let's see what else we got. So I heard that live, and as we were recording it. This word's actually the relationship. Notice we're not catching all the sounds of the voice syllables. Let me copy it and raise it for you. And it also goes in context. A lot of people don't realize once you actually hear what they're saying or you get a gist of what people in spirit are saying, they don't talk in one or two sentences. They talk just like we do. And so naturally, after a sentence of talking about how it's good to demonstrate, the next question is, demonstrate what? And they're talking about how I'm demonstrating the relationship between their effect on electronic devices and our ability to hear them using those electronic devices. It's a little bit fast. This is the relationship. Again, it doesn't sound as nice as we would like it to sound, but that's the nature of ITC. Let's continue and see what else we have. They said to demonstrate again. This is the same words. Actually, we'll go ahead and we'll compare it to the first set so I can demonstrate. This is to demonstrate. Okay, this is our demonstrate one. Let's go back and look at the first one. We're going to take this and we're going to put it in our other file. This is our second demonstrate. We're going to paste our first demonstrate. Two separate files. Put a space here to separate them so you can hear the difference. Let me put a little space here so we can loop it. Not so much though. Let's see. I've got the tail ends here where they're going on to the next word. We don't need that. This one actually has two in the beginning, so I'm not really going to cut it because I'm going to be altering it too much. But the point is they say to demonstrate. They're talking about what we're doing. That's actually the point, and that's what's relevant. So we know we're getting close to actually being able to hear voice from a wall adapter. And just to show that that's what it is, I'm going to grab it and show it to you, and you will hear and see the radio change as I unplug it. And that was pretty easy. We went from all that noise to nothing. And here it is. It's a little power adapter. It's roughly output 14.4 to 14.8 volts, 0.8 amps, float charging. And that was it. So this little part right here was all it took, well, with the combination of software filtering. This little device affected a radio. Spirit was able to affect it. They were able to use the energy emanating, the waves emanating out of this into the entire house and all the electrical outlets to try to be able to speak over top of it. Now I'm going to plug it back in. And hope that the dog doesn't eat it since it's in plain sight. Maybe I need it in the other outlet. It may be a switching power supply. Let's take a look and see what happened. And I can hear what they actually sound like when they're strong and they're affecting the radio normally. You can actually tell. It's rare that it's actually that strong. It's so strong now that without any filtering at all, you can hear their effect. We're going to listen to that again for a second. And that's enough of that. Now in this case, when I plugged it and unplugged it, it changed. I'm going to assume because it got warm inside and it changed the dynamics. Like I said, and or it's a switching power supply. Could I describe what that is? No, because I don't fully understand myself. Let's see what we've got here. It's not as loud as it was. If we look here, okay, we also don't have the peaks that we previously had. I guess there's certain conditions. That's the funny thing about electrical energy is it changes a lot, so it's hard to do different types of things. This means whenever I go to charge this device now, I'm going to want to plug it in during the time when I'm not listening to the stream or there's not an event going on because it affects it. Everything affects radio. All right, let's raise this back up to where it is. Maybe it'll be better. I'm not going to turn up too loud just yet. So I have two choices. I could either go plug it into the actual dog, um, the ball launcher, and put a load on the AC adapter, or I can see if they come back now as it is, using their own skills and energy to increase the amount of energy inside the AC adapter. Yes, I said it. To affect the energy inside the AC adapter. You guys have to see this. This is what Sasha does when I have a live stream. This is how she feels about live streams. To heck with the TV recording. Okay, this is what Sasha does. Sasha, are you mad because I'm not playing with you again? Huh? There. So, instead of looking at me, that's a little loud. Notice that's changing. Okay, so ask yourself, why would an AC adapter change or fluctuate that much when it's plugged into the wall attached to nothing? Some of you may have some technical answers, but I can tell you it's because they're affecting it. Let's go ahead and listen to it, see if we can adjust it again and listen to it more. And then maybe I'm going to change what I'm listening to and where. This was originally going to be me trying to do this stuff live and record and do it quick, 5-10 minutes. Not going to happen. I realized that you can't rush this kind of stuff, so it's got to be more natural. Just got to go with the flow. It's the way it is. Okay. Let's bring it back. Hi, Ron. At this point, this is just another live stream, and they're all going to be until I go ahead and take the time to make videos, proper videos. But this is even better because it's live, it's real time. So anything we hear them saying or doing, it's now. Let's get back to where we were. Put this down to where it belongs. I'm going to go ahead and go with option one. I'm going to take the ball launcher and I'm going to plug it into the AC adapter like it belongs. When I do that, it's going to get loud again because it's under a load and it will likely stay that way. So watch your ears. So here is the device that we're looking at. It's kind of nice, shiny. It's Sasha's new toy. But she doesn't know how to put the ball in here yet, so she thinks that it's my job. I'm gonna plug the adapter. Ooh, but she's sniffing it. She's curious. She wants to play. Not that we're gonna play right now, Sasha. I think this calls for a live I think this calls for a live demonstration. Let's see. Let's see if this works. Okay. This is not exactly a professional camera job, by all means. Let's see. They said relationship again. Alright. Sasha. She doesn't know how to. This is a demonstration just for fun because. And then we're going to go ahead and keep tuning. You ready? You ready? Let's see. Here you go. And off she goes. I can't follow her around. She thinks that, Sasha. Oh, I know what we can do. Anyway, that is a waste of video time. Even though it's fun to watch. Thank you. Thank you. No, give me the ball. Okay, ready? All right, that's enough playing around. Let me get back down to business. It would take a lot of skill to be able to do a live stream and play with the dog and an automatic ball launcher simultaneously. I'm sure somebody could do it, but it would not be me. Now that we have a load on the AC adapter, let's go ahead and change it. And we don't want to see my face. Somebody should let me know. Whenever it's full on Keith, let me know that I need to go back to mini Keith. Let me try a different tactic. Wow, that's messed up. Okay. Instead of just looking at the part above 1 kilohertz, let's look at the actual noise itself. and it's not that strong. In fact, it's barely perceptible to when the first time we plugged it in. So it tells us that the internal components of the AC adapter actually change over time. I'm going to unplug it from the machine. Now I plugged it back into the outlet we plugged it into originally, and you notice that it changed quite a bit, drastically as a matter of fact. We're going to try something totally different. I'm going to start looking now at the area below 1 kilohertz, which we can see here now. Still not as strong as it was, but it's there the first time. Note to self, when doing demonstration on sensitive electronic items, do not plug and unplug. Doesn't matter though, we can still tune them in. try something different just for fun. We're not going to use that filter at all. At this point, it's just experimentation as normal. Let's see. Computer is not cooperating today. That's not going to happen. Okay. First time was the best, actually. First time I opened up, tuned it in, it was better. So the question of the day is, so when we have tones or lines, frequencies, usually what we would describe as screeches or annoying noise, that are bouncing all over the place, and the voice of people in spirit are riding along that, how do you separate one from the other? And for most purposes, usually you can't, but you can try to get close to it. That's what we're doing here. Go ahead and we're going to listen to the way the stream was before we did any changes today. So how the stream would normally sound. This is our normal filtering set, meaning this is the crap, stuff that normally runs for stream one without any additional AC adapters. This is stuff that we use on a daily basis that comes out of stream one. We're just going to fine tune what's here, see if we can tune it in. Sorry, ear warning. For fun, I'm going to switch it back to the spectrograph because I've noticed as we were doing work here before we even started that I was seeing faces quite better than I was accustomed to seeing them. In fact, down here in the right-hand corner, this is someone's face. It's their picture. Let me see what you can see. It's actually down here. So we'll at least give them an opportunity to see if they can show some pictures while we're working. It's kind of hard, small and hard to see. All right, I'm gonna save that just because I document everything. Okay, let's continue. No, I'm actually just trying to segment off a section again. Notice it's different every time I filter. When I do a bunch of things in a row, it's never always exactly the same twice. Wow. Today is computer day. I should have rebooted. Should have rebooted. All right. So today's video did not go the way I thought it would go. I'm a little bit tired. Technical difficulties on both computers. And so I'm just going to go ahead and finish up now by tuning and adjusting it so that we can perhaps see a couple images and faces of people in spirit. If I were to follow the format that I had prepared previously, I would say that as far as that device, the cost of it, is it a device that should be used or could be used for communication with spirit? First question is cost. Well, the dog ball launcher itself, no, it's a $200 device. The AC adapter, though, everybody has some sitting around their house, so therefore that aspect of it is inexpensive. As far as the complexity in this part is actually the audio filters. Let's see. All right. See if we can adjust this for images. Faces of people in spirit. That's the objective now before I go to sleep for the evening. They should be happy because since California, we haven't focused very much on spectrographs because all the focus has been on voice. So what we're going to do here is we're going to tune it and they're going to focus their attention on being able to send their pictures and sound. There's something strange here that they're doing when they do those bursts of energy, and they've been doing that recently, where you hear the or the scratchy white noise. Let's see if, nope, I didn't get it. Or did I get it? It's actually right here. This is where they did this burst that you see right here in the center of the screen. The reason why I'm showing you that is they're doing that intentionally to produce a face. This was intended for all intents and purposes to be a face. It didn't turn out. That's because I haven't spent any time focusing on this. We're looking at the area right there. Go ahead and save a copy. Unbelievable. Those popping lines that you saw, that was actually the computer doing a lot of processing, and that was the audio buffer getting stuck and full and catching up. Okay, you guys want to try to send more pictures? Floor is yours. I'm going to try not to mess with it too much. They just said focusing on pictures. That was not as easy for me to demonstrate as usual. I mean, as it could have been. Let's see. All right. Let's give you something to work with. For example, this was an intended picture right here. It's a woman. But not as clear as what we're looking for. This is a man right here, above the cursor. Cursor's dead center on his face. Now it's below him. This is another attempt to produce their face, a picture right here. Now, if we wanted to focus on this, it would take some time. This was intended to be a portrait. The eyes here, the other eyes here. Here's the mouth. This is the head. But spectrographs are definitely still in development. They have to focus. Takes a lot of energy, and they keep saying the word focus quite frequently. They're talking amongst themselves about, or explaining to each other, the people that want to try, what they have to do to be able to try to get their face to come through in sound. Don't ask me how it works. I am not quite sure. Our next contestant here this evening. Whoops, wrong computer. It's down here in the right-hand corner. He hails from Texas. No, I don't know that, but the person you'll see is right here. It's fairly decent because you can see that you can see his eyes, nose, and mouth. It's fairly successful. Let's see, let's do a border. Save it because we save all. I can actually understand some of what they're saying. Somebody just talked about how they need to practice. And at this point, I'm getting tired, and we're going to go ahead and end the session for this evening. We're going to go ahead. Thank you for joining me. We're going to go ahead and revert back to our regular stream. Thank you. It was a pleasure.